This is how I live. This is what I love. This is all the things that my dreams have been made of.
Welcome to my life. This is what I love. This is what the soundtrack to my life is made of. Music, love, life.
Music, love, life. I am B-Honest, and with me I have Christal. Today we don't have Kevin Davis, but he's in our thoughts and our hearts.
He is. It's like the Three Stooges minus one stooge.
Y'all may be two. I'm not a stooge, so two stooges.
I was really being nice because I definitely would not be a stooge. It would be the two of you all, and then.
Well, how did you come up with that then?
I was just, trying to be a team player, but I'm definitely not a stooge with you guys. But
I'm a Scrooge, but not a stooge.
You are a Scrooge.
I am. I don't know why I can't get out of it either. Christmas is coming, and I don't have any desire.
You don't have the spirit?
However, I am going to be able to enjoy in the Christmas festivities this year. It's been a lot of years since I've even been able to spend time.
What do you mean?
Working, gone, different things. This is my first time at home on Christmas. I'm not working. I'm not doing anything. I can actually do family time. And guess what? Nobody in the family is doing Christmas. They're doing Christmas Eve. So Christmas Day, I'll probably be asleep most of it.
Man, I don't even want to think that far. I think... I don't know. I'm in the Christmas spirit, but no one in my house is except my daughter, who's never there. So I'm kind of like, but I refuse to allow anyone to disrupt my Christmas spirit. I love it. I love this time of year. I actually, on the way here, stopped by Starbucks and had a peppermint hot chocolate.
No idea.
It's a seasonal thing that they have at Starbucks because, around the Christmas season, I like going to the mall, looking at all the decorations, driving downtown and seeing the decorate. It makes me feel happy.
Do you decorate your house?
I did. I decorated my house this weekend with my goddaughter. Got the tree up. I got the stockings hung by the chimney with care.
As you can see at my house, there's none of that.
Yeah, well, no one really appreciated it at my house, but, I just did it for me. I did it for me.
That's good. That's good. I'm trying to be less of a Scrooge this year. I'm going to buy gifts. Usually I let my wife buy all the gifts and I just kind of stay out of it. But I'm going to participate this year in gifts.
Are you going to the mall?
No.
Where are you going to buy the gifts from?
Maybe Amazon or...
So you're going to order gifts?
Yeah.
You better hurry up because it's going to be rough getting them shipped in time.
Amazon is next day sometimes.
Yeah, but it's Christmas season, so things are always different.
Save me some gifts, man. Don't sell them all.
You see, I am wearing my official Cheetahs t-shirt.
So do you? How do you get that t-shirt? Do you have to dance for it?
No, I didn't. I went to Cheetahs for the first time. It was my first time going to a strip club. This was a year ago with some clients of mine, Rock City. We went. I think it was one of their road manager's birthday, and they wanted to go to Cheetahs, and so I'm a team player, so I went. And
you do realize Cheetahs is not the epitome of Atlanta strip clubs, right?
I think it is a different type of staple. It's like the sophisticated upper echelon strip club.
Or the white people strip club.
I went with all black people, and they do business meetings in there.
Yeah, I know all that, but I've been to Cheetah before, and it is very upscale, but annoyingly so.
And actually, it's funny because I had this idea of what it was going to be like when I got inside, and it really wasn't that. It's just dark, and the chairs are leather and plush, but it's not that upscale.
Well, no, I think it's more along the lines of the culture. Because, for instance, if I'm not mistaken, this may have changed.
Okay.
But when I went, women could not be naked and also bend over.
Oh.
It was one or the other. So you could be clothed in your bikini or whatever, your outfit, and you could bend all over and, do what you do. But once the clothes came off, you couldn't bend over. You could go down, but you had to go down with your head still in the air.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not. That's not something I would observe.
I mean, but this is when we're talking about Atlanta strip clubs, what I remember is a club called Goosebumps. It was on Baker Street, and I remember being knuckle deep in somebody before.
What does that even mean?
You have 1 digit, 2 digits, all 2 digits deep in someone's hole.
Okay, all right. I did hear that there was a term called butt-ass naked, meant the girl was bent over and spreading cheeks so that you could see both entryways.
Butt bookie ass naked.
That's That is offensive. That's
Why?
Offensively naked.
That's Atlanta strip clubs.
That is
Club
offensively
Nikki,
naked.
Club Nikki 2, the Gentleman's Club, Nikki's VIP, Magic City, Strokers.
Oh my God, it's a history lesson.
Those are. I mean, now I guess Onyx is like a newer one. Those are the strip clubs that Atlanta's known. The Cheetah. Why would y'all? I mean, I guess because you can be more discreet at Cheetah.
It was just dinner, but
and the food's really good, right?
And the food is good, but most importantly, it was less shocking for me my first time going to a strip club.
True.
So I go and the stripper comes over and she's, they're sitting around the table all talking and socializing, and I'm eating food, and the guy was like, get the fried chicken and mashed potatoes because it's like the best thing ever. And the stripper, so I can't eat all of it because it's a lot. So I ate a little bit, and then she said, are you going to eat the rest of it? I said, no. And then she ate the rest of my food.
No, that'll never happen. That'll never happen in a black people strip club. I wish you would touch a chicken wing.
She ate the entire mashed potato, the entire thing. Like the plate was clean. And I was thinking to myself, like, who eats fried chicken and mashed potatoes?
Who eats somebody else? You'd already been eating on it, right?
Yeah. She didn't care. I don't know.
Do you think that they're Russian slaves in there or something? Like maybe.
I don't know. All I know is that she ate the plate clean, and then she got up and I'm thinking, like, you ever know like good naked and bad naked? Like hunched over eating fried chicken and mashed potatoes is not good naked. It's not good naked.
I am shocked. I've never heard of any stripper ever eating their client's food, especially without permission.
I wasn't a client. I wasn't paying. I'm sure somebody at our table was paying her, but it wasn't me.
How did the transaction go down though? Like, how did she sat down beside you?
She sat down and we started talking because I was at the table with guys. So guys were just having all these girls come over. She sits down and then I'm just there. I'm not looking at anything naked. So I'm just talking. And then in the middle of our conversation, she said, are you going to eat the rest of that? And I said, no. I'm thinking that she's just
gonna clean the plate, clean the table.
Asking me why I'm like not eating my food. Do I not like it? She picks up my fork,
right,
and eats the rest of the food. It was the weirdest thing.
Wow,
that was my cheetahs.
That is an interesting stripper story. I don't think I've ever heard of anything quite so fucked up.
But I think that particular stripper, and she's my Instagram friend now. I think that particular stripper eats other people's food because the guy said she's going to eat your food. Maybe she's not eating after work. I don't know.
Okay, well,
I haven't been to Goosebumps. I think it's still open. I haven't been.
Why did you get a shirt?
Because I wanted to. It was just the fact that I've been and I heard it in I think a Jay-Z song.
Okay.
So I wanted a shirt.
You're part of the history.
I am. One of the guys got trousers. He was like, "You want one?" I said, "Yes, I do." Anyway. I'm here in my cheetah shirt. And I am full of the Christmas spirit. I'm going to a Christmas party later today. I'm excited.
You invited me. I'm sorry. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it, but it seems like it's going to be a good event.
I think it's going to be fun. I'm going to get dressed up. Hopefully they're going to play Christmas music.
It was semi-formal, right?
It is semi-formal, so I get to get all Cinderella'd up. Yeah.
So I couldn't wear like an elf suit if I came. Like the one-piece
That's disgusting.
zipper.
No.
No?
Nobody wants that.
I think I'm going to wear that on Christmas Eve, actually, when I go eat dinner.
Be looking like, what's the guy's name in Elf?
Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that. Don't want to see that. So, you know what? I actually had a poll the other day because we asked guys, about the Christmas gift, getting a girl a pair of shoes for $1,500. So I asked women.
Right.
I asked women how much is too much to spend on their boo for Christmas if this is a new relationship. Ironically, women do the opposite. Women go overboard.
Is that ironic?
I think it is. I think it is.
Well, okay, so no, because we have to. There's a difference. Women in the beginning of a relationship and women after they're comfortable. For some reason, it's backwards. Guys are expected to up their gifts as the years go. 10-year anniversary, you better not bring no shit that you know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be better than 5. It's got to be, But women tend to go the opposite direction to where you get like.
I don't know. The women I talked to, I did an article for Upscale. You guys have to check it out. I'll post it on the site when it comes. Excuse me, when it comes out.
Bless you.
But a lot of women spent a lot of money on new relationships. And the guys did not reciprocate.
We're just tired.
What do you mean you're tired?
We're just tired of being the one spending all the money all the time.
Anyway, so some people were saying, don't spend money on him. Make sure that you find out what he's getting you first. Like,
so it's a game.
It's not a game.
It's
you
a
just don't
game.
want to like spend a lot of money on someone that's going to get you like a $25 Starbucks card.
What happened to this? A thought that counts.
But you're not doing that.
I mean,
the thought would be those Manolo Blahniks or those the Louboutins.
No, that's not a thought. That takes preparation.
No.
I have yet to see these dudes you're talking about who making all this money. I looked since we had that show. I've been looking at guys.
You've been looking and
I've been looking
them.
to see, like, you know, like who out here's got all this money that Chris was talking about they can afford
There are guys that are doing that.
$2,000 shoe.
There are guys that are paying for plastic surgery.
Not out their pocket.
How are they paying for it?
Financing it.
I don't know, but I do know that women tend to. I guess women are more in the Christmas spirit. Like you said, your wife buys all the gifts.
Right. Yeah.
Women, you're like, I'm all excited about Christmas. I don't think my significant other is excited about it.
I don't know. I think that Christmas for a lot of black people, and I don't know if this is just black, maybe just poor people.
Christmas in the ghetto.
Yeah, I think Christmas it is sad. It's sad because people tend to do a lot of crazy things to get gifts, and for history we've done ridiculous things. We've overspent. I know someone who sold blood to be able to afford Christmas gifts.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I think
that's sobering. Be honest. Now
I'm gonna just keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. My mom sold blood for Christmas gifts before.
Oh wow.
And so I don't feel like being happy all the time with Christmas. I think that people do a lot. You know, there's some more suicides in the holidays.
Oh my gosh.
It's just
you're making this dark. I mean, my mom didn't have a lot when we were growing up, but we didn't have a lot when I was growing up. And my mom did always manage to do something for us. But to me, I probably would be really depressed if I couldn't get my kids something really nice.
So was my mom. And I mean, back then, I'm just mad they don't give as much for blood anymore because you couldn't buy Christmas gifts with no damn blood now.
I'm like, I don't know how much blood is.
Now it's nothing. I don't even think.
How much does blood go for?
I don't know if they pay for it anymore.
Oh God. Okay. Well, you just ruined. You are definitely one of those people that is attempting to ruin my Christmas spirit. But
you remember that movie? There was a movie Kevin Hart was in. I think it was like 35 and Ticking or something like that.
Right.
Where his job was he sold sperm to the sperm bank.
Yes. How much is that going for a 5'4" man?
Oh, boo,
Who
man!
wants sperm from a 5'4" man?
Lots of women.
Not
What's
from a
wrong with
5'4" man?
Is he 5? He's not 5'4".
He is 5'4".
In real life, he's 5'4".
In real life, and that is not the. If you're going to get sperm, you want the best species. You want the best specimen of the human.
What's wrong with being 5'4"?
You want to get the
You're such a hater.
6'5" man that has like the muscles and is brilliant.
What?
If you're having a baby,
how much would you pay for that? How much? Okay.
I wouldn't pay. Sperm is free.
No, not from a 6'5"
is free.
Athlete genius.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
Sperm
is.
from a 6'5"
Catch him
athlete
on a
genius.
night after the club, and you can get it for free.
I need to talk to these. I need to manage these 6'5" athlete geniuses. Then, if they're giving their shit away for free,
They are.
Well, we need to.
There are girls popping up pregnant all over the place.
We need to make some changes then because we can be making money off this.
Speaking of pregnant, not pregnant, she's not pregnant. No, but you know that there was just an announcement that Prince Harry is engaged to African American woman. Actually,
Right.
she's not African American. She's biracial.
Okay.
It bothers me when people say black, and if you're like half black, you should be considered black.
She's
That's
black
not
and
fair.
white?
She's black and white. Yeah, her mother is black. Her father is white.
She's pretty. I saw a picture.
She's beautiful. She's
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. And not only is she biracial, but she's also been divorced. So that's like scandalous
Oh,
as
wow.
well.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're diversifying over there.
See, why are you saying that? I think that's just life.
I mean, but you know, when you think of the royal family, you think of everything being like so prude and proper, and like there's a way to curtsy when you meet people. Like you don't think of somebody.
So she can't curtsy just because she's been divorced.
Well, you don't think of people who have baggage being able to fit into that. You know?
Yeah. I saw a website where there were a lot of people that were upset about that. They were like, if you can get a brand new Ferrari, why would you settle on a used Buick?
No, I don't think that she's a Buick because she's divorced, and she's
because
like I say, she's
black.
still very pretty.
Yeah. And she's brilliant. Like came from a very Ivy League background. She's educated well. She's an actress. I mean, she's well. I hate to say she's well spoken. That sounds so stereotypical, but I mean, she's a leader. You know, I mean, she's like, you know, she's got her stuff together. She's admirable young woman.
I don't know how this is going to play out in the royal family's future, But he's not even.
He's not in line.
Yeah, he's not
the
even the
younger
guy.
son. Yeah, but I know that's what a lot of people are like. Well, they're letting him do that because he's not in line to take over after Charles. His brother is,
right?
And his wife is his fiance is very different than. Because I think the first brother, what's the prince? His wife looks very much like the Princess Diana.
Traditional.
Yeah, the traditional.
Yeah. I don't know much about their lives, but I would guess that they don't have a lot of fun when it comes to those type of things, like those decisions.
Right.
So this is probably a very fun decision for him, and I'm sure he'll have lots of fun.
Well, Instagram went crazy
playing house
with a lot of African American women all of a sudden making her their hero and saying, "Girl, secure the bag."
What?
Yeah, which I'm not gonna lie, I think that's really sad because I want to believe, I have like a fairy tale idea of love. I want to believe that they actually love each other. I don't think that she's there just trying to get the bag. I mean, that's a horrible way to look at love and relationships.
That's not where I was going with the what. How the
saying?
fuck do you bitches, and I'm going to say bitches, how the fuck do you bitches have the nerve to applaud this? But if a black dude gets with a white girl, y'all lose your damn mind.
Now, see, now you're going to whole nother.
How dare you go applaud the bag and what the fuck? Then don't tell me it's in spite of black dudes doing it for so long. I don't want to hear that shit. How dare y'all? How dare you guys applaud this?
You called them bitches.
Yes, you deserve it this time.
Oh my God.
I take it back. I'm sorry. You're not bitches. But for a second, I felt it. Goodness.
Well, I think black men actually were upset when Serena got married a couple weeks ago. And
no, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
No, they were
not.
No.
Yes, I saw a lot of negative comments on social media. I saw actually a thread, and we actually have a guy that's going to come on here in a couple of weeks, Raheem Shabazz, that has...
he was upset?
He was upset, and a lot of people on his page were upset, and they said that Serena's father, I don't know if this is true or not, but we'll look that up before he comes on the show. Her father didn't attend her wedding, and that they believe it's because she married a white man. Okay. There were a lot of black men
I got something to say to them, too. Except for Raheem, because he's someone I know and I respect and I like him. But how dare you other bitches get mad at Serena?
That's what I'm talking about.
For falling in love with somebody and getting married.
She fell in love, and maybe that man treated her right. Just like with this young lady, maybe Prince Harry is her prince.
I'm for it. Love. I love love.
I do too. That's why we actually have a love and relationship coach joining us soon today. Are you going to have some good questions for her?
Yeah, what's odd, and I know that, me and you have had lots of relationship talks throughout our friendship, throughout the years. And with this particular guest that we have, though, I really am in line with a lot of things that she says. I'm not saying it speaks to me because I'm a man. It can't speak to me.
I've never heard you say you agree with a woman so much. So I'm excited. So Stacii Jae is coming up in the next half of the show. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm ready because I think that there's going to be a lot that not just the women, the men can gain from hearing this approach.
A woman's perspective.
For this particular topic.
For this topic.
Yes, okay. Because I feel like it's just something that, that women have been missing out on for a lot of years. And I think the relationships in the future will be wonderful if people start implementing this type of strategy, tactic, whatever you want to say that it is.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. She's coming up shortly. But right now, we definitely got to shout out our sponsors. We actually, as you guys see, are sipping on our Caribbean Blue. We actually had Pixie Paula in the studio a few weeks ago that has the discount liquors. And we had also Lori, who is with Caribbean Blue. They're doing a lot of big things. So they have some really cool stuff coming up in the future. But I definitely enjoy the water. Definitely want to encourage you guys to at least go to the website, CaribbeanBlueWater.com, and see everything that they have going on. You may want to order. I don't know if you can order a case there, but you can definitely get the water. They'll have information about that, and I promise you'll notice a difference.
Yeah, I've enjoyed drinking the water. I think it's delicious so far. Thank you for our case.
So far, we don't think it's going to actually turn bad.
Right, no, I don't. But thank you for the case. It's delicious water.
Yeah, we've enjoyed it. Shouts out to Lori. Thank you so much for providing us with Caribbean Blue for the show. So we appreciate that. What I was going to ask you? Speaking of relationships, before we get into before we have Stacey come on, Jay-Z has done more interviews, I think, over the last year than he's ever done.
I haven't seen a lot of snippets here and there.
Did you see, there's a snippet where he talks a little bit about he talks about his relationships on his album, the album that he had that came out this year.
Right.
He talked 444. He talks about his, basically accountability, I think was like the key point in his interviews. And really with the album is him taking accountability for his mistakes. And one of the things that he says in a recent snippet that's out is trending, so you guys can definitely look it up. But he has a great interview where he says that he actually went to therapy and he learned a lot about himself, and he was able to he talks about how he and Beyonce really broke down the problems in their relationship, and he takes responsibility and accountability for a lot of them himself, which I think I think that's a really grown-up thing to do.
Right.
That's a really grown-up thing to do.
Accountability is for men. I think for men right now, a lot of guys have to be more accountable because there's been we've had a good run.
Right.
We've had a good run.
We've bought it for a while.
Yeah, we've had a good run. We've had the whole thing on Eddie Murphy talking about it wasn't me. We've had a good run.
Yes.
Now I think that women are finding their voice. They're finding their voice, and it's a crazy voice right now. You guys are still completely
you just
raw.
said you agree with everything our guest has to say.
I do. But trust when I tell you that the first few years of you guys finding your voice has been shaky. It's been shaky.
Because we were overwhelmed with all the BS that was heaped upon us by you all that we used to just swallow.
Maybe. But I mean, okay. Without getting too far in depth with that, I think that there's a lot of give and take there. We're just compensating for things that you guys are doing too. However, what I'm saying is though, we've had a good run. It's time for guys to pull back a little bit and let some women up, and you let y'all say what y'all got to say.
It's time for some just acknowledging. Yes, it was me. It was me. It was me. It really was.
Yeah, it was
you got me.
Most likely me. Can we say most likely?
No.
It was most likely me.
That's not accountability.
I mean, that's like 80%, 80.
I need you to just be honest. He said truth is hard to deal with, but it's the most important thing.
Truth,
and I'm paraphrasing.
Truth is hard to deal with. I think truth is very easy. I guess I just always lived that way, so that when we have these types of conversations, I don't have to make stuff up. So I think the truth is a lot easier than a lie. But I know what he means.
Yeah.
I know. Well, he
said looking at someone after you've hurt them and seeing the truth in what you've done to them is difficult.
Wow, that's a very mature stance,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? But I was thinking I was watching the interview again yesterday, and I was thinking like, oh my gosh, this is so mature. But then I thought Jay-Z is 47 or 48 years old. He should be at this place. The problem is when we have people that are in their 40s and they're still not maturing and they're not at a different place in life. My grandmother used to say to me all the time, there's nothing worse than an old fool. And I never understood what that meant. But it's like, if you're not learning, I mean, look at all the wonderful experiences that he's had. He's traveled. He's been able to live a life that very few people will be able to do. So if he hadn't matured to this point, there would be an issue.
Why do idiots, and I'm going to call them idiots, why do idiots say stuff like, oh man, you can't tell me to do whatever, you lived your life. Why do you think that that's the appropriate response when somebody's trying to tell you a way to do better?
That's an excuse.
You know what I'm talking about? Have you heard that?
Yeah, they don't want to be held accountable and examine their own. Usually it's someone who knows they're doing wrong. Right. And it's saying, like, I want to keep doing wrong. I don't want to stop. And so you did wrong, so allow me to do my wrong. It's kind of like that. My most hated phrase is God knows my heart. It's like, that's not right. Yeah, I know it's wrong, but God knows my heart. Like, what? What does that have to do with you doing the wrong thing or hurting other people? It's like, it's the dumbest excuse ever.
That's your people.
Yeah,
I'm not even claiming that.
Well, you know what? We're going to get into this interview with Stacey, who is a dating coach. She's based here in Atlanta, and she has been coaching women on how to find the best love, or the love that they want.
Okay, as Duke pokes his head into the screen here,
find the love that you want. So let's talk to Stacey.
Okay.
Stacii Jae is here with us. She's an author, and she's also, I'm going to say, like a girlfriend mentor, because in addition to being an author, she also is really coaching and mentoring and inspiring women, single women across the world, across the country at least, definitely not to give up on love and to have a better outlook and to look within and to find the love that they deserve. So welcome, Stacii Jae.
Welcome.
Yay, thank you. I love that intro. Yeah. Did I say I'm in love with Scandal? So what did I say?
Yeah, we were at a Scandal party. We just had a good conversation at a Scandal party back when Scandal was like new and fresh. And
so Scandal's definitely not a thing anymore, right?
No.
Okay.
Not really,
sure.
no.
Just making sure.
No. No.
Moving on.
Yeah. So, but you know what? I'm going to start with, because we were talking on Instagram yesterday because Cameron, I know B-Honest doesn't watch reality TV, so he's not going to know.
I have an idea though.
But you know who Cameron is, obviously.
Of course.
And then he had a girlfriend, Juju, right?
Yep.
Who was on
Love and
Hip Hop, but I know a lot of guys know her from her Instagram because she's, very curvaceous.
Yes.
And, very
little waist.
Curvaceous.
She's very curvaceous. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So anyway, there was a post that said that they broke up because of social media. And so Stacey asked her followers, did they think that social media is responsible for breaking up relationships?
Yeah, and I most of my followers said what I said. No, it can't be responsible for breaking up a relationship,
right?
But it can be responsible for, honestly, women being a little bit insecure about what their man may be doing or not doing on social media. For me, my personal opinion is, if you have a guy that is liking or commenting on a woman's pictures more than he is liking and commenting and giving you attention, then there is a problem. As long as he's not commenting and saying, ooh, I like your... I mean, it's okay, in my opinion, for a man to say another woman is beautiful.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I don't believe that when we start dating somebody, we put his blinders on. I think that's the first mistake that women can make. So for me, I don't really care if he says anything that makes sense, but to really go into it and to consistently do it, oh, you're stunning. And, on one day and another day, you're beautiful. And another day on the same girl, you're hot. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
And I think guys have a problem with that as well. That you probably wouldn't even get that far. Most guys wouldn't even allow a woman who's in the limelight to make those type of comments to a dude ever.
If you
even
like
one time.
a picture, you could be in trouble. Yeah.
And that said, I think social media is ridiculous as far as getting in between relationships, because I think that those people have to have a better understanding of what their roles are on social media. Social media is a platform that allows you to advertise your brand. And if Cameron's brand is saying a woman looks stunning, then him and Juju need to have that type of understanding ahead of time so that her friends can't get in the middle of that and say, what is your man doing on Instagram or whatever? I don't know.
But who cares if your friends are in the middle? That
Obviously
takes it to a whole nother. No. We're not talking specifically about Juju though,
Okay.
right?
And how did you
Cameron.
know that? You don't know that her friends are the ones that said it.
I just feel like most of the time when people have a problem with something that their
it
man
has
is
to
doing
come from their
publicly,
girlfriend?
not necessarily their girlfriends, but just their environment. Maybe it could be I said girls because that's just easy, but it could have been her uncles or anything. That's not how a man's supposed to do you. But I mean, they need to have that understanding that for instance, on this show and on my other show, I say some pretty wild things?
Yes.
I say some pretty wild things. However, me and my wife have a very deep understanding that she's always first, regardless of whatever, is said. Sometimes it may be misogynistic. Sometimes it may be...
It's usually misogynistic.
It may be slightly, but at the end of the day, my wife knows that I'm respecting her, and if it was ever a choice between the two, it would be her. So if I had to give up one...
But she's sure of that.
Absolutely.
But a woman won't be sure of it if you're just giving all this energy to another woman and you're not giving it to her.
Right.
That's when the problem comes in. Like, that's the problem.
Gotcha.
Obviously... You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If your dude is over here and stunning and beautiful and all this, and you look at your Instagram, or even he comes home and barely speaks or whatever,
Right.
then there's a problem. It's like, where are you putting your energy?
Yeah.
I
Makes
don't
sense.
really, if my guy wants to comment on somebody, hell, I might go on there and comment on her too. Ooh, babe, she is pretty. No, for real.
That would suggest something else entirely different.
That's funny.
But
That's
my
funny,
thing
Crystal.
is that
No, that might suggest it, but let's be clear. There's none of that going on.
just saying it.
No.
That's what a girl would think, is like, because that is very common nowadays. But my thing is that, and I think I made this comment on the post. I don't think that it's just him commenting on pictures, because I've been a publicist for years. I've talked to a lot of girls that are around these guys, and a lot of times they're doing more than commenting on pictures. They're sliding into the DM. As Yo Gotti shared with us, it goes down in the DM.
Right.
And so if your man is in somebody else's DM telling them how bad they are,
Oh, that's a problem.
That may be a problem. So, but I don't think that problem is social media. I think it's just that social media allows for additional temptation that you would not have gotten elsewhere.
But I honestly believe that the man would have to be open for that temptation. I don't want to throw it out there where I don't want to throw it out there where it opens up for a specific man to be tempted, because I don't believe that every man is tempted by a picture on social media. Or
I would hope not.
I'm not.
You see what? Yeah. So
but you have said that scrolling through all the ass, sometimes you have to click off because it's too much ass.
No, I'm offended. I wasn't saying I'm clicking off because I'm too tempted. I'm like, it's just, there's nothing of substance. It's just this. It's this over and over and over. And it gets a little bit overwhelming just because it's annoying. Not because I'm like, man, I might cheat if I look at one more really beautiful, well-fit,
Fat butt.
unbelievable, impossible to have a body like this woman.
Right.
I do know some guys that have said, man, I get distracted. I can get distracted because it's a lot of temptation. I have to put that away. I know some guys that just won't have an Instagram because they do feel like they're tempted.
Wow.
It's so interesting. I've never heard a woman say anything like that. I get distracted by all these men.
Women don't.
Like, we don't really, all these muscles on Instagram. And all these beards. I just can't
Isn't
focus.
it kind of your job to be able to get through that though? Because you guys have been bombarded since day one. Every dude that you know is grabbing your arm and saying something cute and saying something corny. So like you guys are so fine tuned that now it's not the same.
No, that's not the same thing. We admire a good looking man.
But you're not distracted because it's everywhere. You don't have a choice.
We just
you go to the
brains.
grocery store, boom, boom, boom.
We
You
have
go to the
okay, first of all, getting hit on and admiring someone are two different things. Because a lot of guys that hit on you are not gorgeous. In fact,
that's true.
A good portion of them are not. And I think that's you cannot act like we don't enjoy looking at things too. I think women are just able to multitask.
Yeah, we're not just distracted.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, look at this girl. We're not. You know what I'm saying?
We take it in, we appreciate it, and we allow
keep
it to go back into the universe.
That beard group was a little ridiculous, though. I mean, that was if there was any point in history where you guys kind of slipped up a little bit, it was that
we didn't slip up.
I mean, I wasn't
really
in there.
didn't slip up.
I wasn't in there, but from what I heard,
a man with a beard would of course say that.
No. Trust me, I was not. I was never there. And Kevin is the only man that I know who was there.
No, there were men there, but I will say this, and I'm going to ask Stacey this question because I feel like a lot of men have this mixed up. Women do appreciate good-looking men.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of times men think all they have to do is get their paper up, and that's it. And I think that women sometimes, we put security sometimes as a high priority, but there are a lot of women cheating on men because they're not really attracted to that. When you talk to women about, putting their I guess their list together or their wants and needs together, do you suggest they find someone that they are attracted to physically?
I suggest that they find someone that they genuinely have a connection and chemistry with.
Okay.
And that can happen, usually, who you have that connection and chemistry with out the gate.
Right.
You can't sit across the table and not have connection and chemistry with someone and think that they're going to make it to a second date. So yeah, you got to be attracted to the person.
Right.
But I also tell them, find things that maybe are not genuinely things that you go, ooh, like this height thing. He has to be 6 feet tall. I can tell you, every woman I coach, I don't care if she's 5'2", he has to be 6 feet tall.
Right.
And that is one that I tell them let's just open up, because there's not a lot of 6 feet tall men in the world. So why don't we just open up the possibilities? And I give them a realistic talk. If you want him to be 6'1", this is what you're going to get. A very small percentage of men are 6'1".
Yes.
And then from the
men.
7%?
7%.
Wow.
I am that woman who is 5'2". And
you're her. You wanted to stick to
I am. And I went to a matchmaker with a good friend of mine who shall remain nameless. And we talked to the matchmaker, and I told her that I wanted someone that was 6'2" or up.
And a football player.
I didn't say a football player. I said,
Christal, I've known you for many, many years.
I didn't
It's
say
either
a football
player or a football player type.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm not far off.
Yes.
I'm not far off.
But she did share with me. She said, well, why do you need all those extra inches if you're I'm like barely 5'3", because I'm just attracted to, that's what makes me turn on. And she said, well, only 7% of the men, not just African American, but men period,
wow.
are over
It's
6
very-
feet.
yeah.
The average height for a man is 5'9", which I did not know.
Yeah.
And so she shared with me that my pickings were a lot ridiculously.
So then
slimmer.
usually, let me ask you this question, because when I share that with my clients, then they open themselves up and they go, okay, because it makes sense to them. Usually with women, if you tell them something that makes sense, they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then let me at least open up the possibility and go out with somebody. Did that help you, or did you still say, I don't care, 6'2" is what I said, lady?
No, I did. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I better figure this out. And so I did go on a date. I dated a guy that was 5'10". And I was okay, but that's not really my favorite thing. So what I noticed is I went back to my original.
Outside of him being 5'10", though.
I'm just talking about the height.
She hasn't
That
even
wasn't my
gotten past
favorite
that.
thing.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't my favorite thing because there's a certain feeling of being able to feel.
And that's what I was
certain
saying.
way.
What about the chemistry involved, Stacey?
But so I noticed, and I'm not saying this to any other woman out there, but when I just put in my head, this is what I want, I've attracted all over 6 feet tall. I've been moving in that 7% ever since.
Stacey, what about...
Okay, let me ask you this question. When you say
ignoring that.
moving in that 7%, tell me what does that mean?
I've only dated the last 3 guys I've dated have all been over 6 feet. My boyfriend now is 6'2".
But isn't that a choice? That's not like magic. It wasn't like,
I feel
somebody...
like it's magic. They just come to me.
Stacey, what about the chemistry in this
She
all?
can convince herself
No,
of
she
that.
can't. That's
It
nonsense.
has happened though. But I mean, realistically, the last 3 guys I've dated have all been over 6 feet tall.
Okay.
So how did that happen? That was me believing in the universe responding.
No, let me ask you, what is your history with 6 feet tall men?
I mean, same as my history with I haven't really dated a lot of guys that weren't 6 feet tall. Obviously, until you
Did
find
you have
the
a lot
one.
of tall men in your family?
No.
No?
I just like the feel. I just like it. I just like it. It just makes
That's why I was
me
asking
happy.
about the chemistry of it. Women need to feel protected, just
And I was about to say maybe because, I mean, we're nice, round, curvaceous women.
Yeah.
So maybe you feel more protected by a man
I
who is
definitely
taller.
would not feel comfortable. And I'm
And you feel
definitely
like
a thicker
maybe he can
person.
handle-
I feel like
he can
I feel
handle you
secure.
better.
Like I can sit on his lap and not be afraid I'm going to hurt him.
He can choke you out or something.
No, I didn't say that.
I'm talking about in an intimate way.
I
I'm not
like
talking about in
choking out
a
intimate
violent,
way.
I don't
No,
like
but
you
I mean,
anymore.
That's just my preference. But I have a problem because we never tell men to not look for their physical preference. We always tell women to be open, but we never tell men that.
Well, no, let me say this. I don't think there's anything wrong with you wanting a 6 foot tall, 6'2", excuse me.
Well, no, he can be 6
and you
foot.
5'2".
Don't take our inches.
Okay.
I lowered it to
but,
6 feet.
But,
I lowered it.
But I'm saying just be open
Right.
to the possibility of something else.
Yeah,
Because
no,
really chemistry
absolutely.
has nothing to do with
Height.
and all of that. It's more of an emotional, psychological connection. That's what creates chemistry.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying that maybe emotionally you feeling protected.
Yeah.
And, psychologically you feel like the taller guy can protect you more. That's why
Yeah.
you have chemistry with him.
Yeah, I
Which
agree.
really probably we would have to go back, and there's a
Figure out
reason
what
why
that is.
even that's there too.
Yeah, probably.
Speaking about that, where do you think the damage happens? Do you think this is something that happens during? The idea here is that there's something wrong. There's an issue. So do you think that the issue starts with upbringing in the home, or is it more of an adult socialization
I
through
think
TV
it's
shows?
a little bit of both. I think it's a lot of both. I do this thing with my clients called rewriting your love story. And what we do is we go back and we connect to the first moment where love disconnected you first, where you disconnected from love first, where love hurt you the most. And if we can't get to that moment, we get to the most recent one. Whichever one is the one that you have more of an emotional connection to.
Right.
And we go back and we see where that came from, and then we see what your choices were after that. In love, not just in life, in love. And then we find a way to disconnect from that through a meditation and through actually seeing this cord disconnecting you from it. It goes on. And then we put in new things after we disconnect what we want in our love story. So then I believe, just like you said, you're starting to you've always attracted these 6 and above guys, then I believe then we can put in our love story what we want. Yeah. Now, does that mean that she may marry somebody 5'11"? Absolutely not. Hopefully, she's still, even with that request, especially about a height, she's still honest and open to other things. Yeah. And you just never know. I mean, because I tend to believe, how tall is, who's your favorite male crush as far as celebrity?
Denzel Washington.
Okay, Denzel Washington.
He's 5'10".
Exactly. So I tend to believe.
I would make an exception.
You see what I'm saying? So I would tend to believe that if she found something that made her feel a certain way, okay, but then she would change.
Let me ask you this, though, because I was having a conversation with a girlfriend actually on the way here, and I know a lot of women. One of my mentees, she was telling me the other day, she was like, Christal, I was dating this guy. He's not my type, right? A lot of women have types. A lot of men don't, but we've heard a lot of women have types. So when you go outside of your type and date something totally different, you can have a connection. But do you think, as far as having a physical connection, because once you get into a relationship, especially if you're talking about moving towards marriage, having a physical attraction to that person is extremely necessary. So she was saying that I like this guy, but I realized when it came down to like being intimate with him, or being not even having sex, but just being kissing him or being in a, hugging, I just didn't. Because
they were probably moving too fast. A lot of times in life, we want to feel all of these things. No.
Okay.
You're moving too fast. If you allow, first of all, if you respect a person, women want to respect their man.
That's true.
And I can tell you that probably in that situation, she didn't give it time enough to where he did enough for her to respect him. She liked him. And for women to really go outside of their comfort zone physically, and what usually it has to be a sense of respect. That's why you find more women, if you look back at girlfriends from college or whatever, it's the guys who they were friends with, who they developed a respect for, that they ended up marrying, because it may have been a different kind of guy, but she got to know him and it was like, girl, this is my boo. Oh my God, we're best friends.
Right.
And it's easier. But they were probably, most times in our society, girl, by date 5, they want to feel like they want to get married.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? They in the bed.
Wow.
By date 5, they're thinking about sex. By date 6 and 7, they in the bed.
No, if it's day 7 and we haven't had sex yet, but let's change direction for a second, because something that you're saying is very interesting. I noticed that in your book, you're giving people the instruction women, that it's not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to make one guy your guy while you're building this dream or this.
Oh, absolutely not.
And I totally agree with that.
Absolutely not.
I've always, me and Chris have talked about this before. I know she'll remember it, but we talked about the filtration system. Remember that? I feel like women don't use that enough. They don't fine tune their filter. So when they get with a bozo, they're 25 months in before they realize he's a bozo. However, had they been dating a few guys, they could have started figuring out the personality types and the different, what flags have gone up.
Yes.
And then they can use that to figure out, they can pick a guy probably a lot quicker if they were using it. Guys do this.
No, and guys do it
all
right. I told you this when I was on your Rolling Out show. Guys do it so right. I think that women, we move so quickly. I mean, and we don't ask ourselves questions. Like, do I like this dude?
Right.
Outside of, he's 6'2",
right.
He drives a Tesla, he has a nice career,
right.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, do I really like him?
Yeah.
Most of the times, you might not even like him if you check in with yourself.
I do. I think women, but I think men have issues too. I'm not going to just say that this is only women, but I do think women see something and they try to make it fit. You try to fit a round peg into a square hole. Mm-hmm. So if he fits my football player type look, and then he has the career that I want, then you want to fill in the blanks yourself, and you can't do that.
You know can't do that.
But I think, and I may be wrong. I mean, life shows you.
But men don't do it as much. Men usually, it's going to take them a minute to make you their boo.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They not trying to. And
they can enjoy a woman without needing her to be their boo.
Yes.
The only reason we tell you guys that you are is because you require it to continue.
I believe
that's not right.
It's not right on your side either.
But yeah, it's not.
What do you mean it's not right on our side?
If you're forcing us to call you our boo so we can continue. No, but I think there are some ultimatums that go out very early in relationships.
Give us an example.
I'm saying that what women expect is on the table from the first date. They automatically put out exactly what they're looking for. I mean, and that's good if it were just a conversation, but it turns into an ultimatum thing where the guy is like, Man, so I got to tell you this to get it. I got to tell you that to get it. And we're going to tell you this and we're going to tell you that because that's easy. You're giving it all away. As opposed to, and I'm not talking about, when I point at you, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about women. As opposed to not being so concrete up front about what you're expecting me to do on date
just
one.
Just be on the date. Shit. I'm sorry.
No, you can curse.
Be on the date.
Right.
Like, just be on the date. Enjoy a person's company. Like,
right.
And the reason I speak so passionately about this is because I used to be that girl. Oh. I was all in future tense. You know what I'm saying? Like everything was future tense.
Be the husband.
Yes, exactly. When now you just be on the freaking date. Like, and first of all, I always go back to, do you like this person? We don't ask ourselves that.
That is true.
It's the dumb shit.
Yeah.
Do you like this person?
Let me ask you a question.
You're sitting at the table with an arrogant, egotistical, narcissistic, self-indulgent, and only thing you could see, you're like,
right.
I like his confidence.
Yeah.
But you're like, he's making your flesh crawl because you're like, God, he's too much.
Yeah.
And then you go home, it's like, I like him. Girl, he has this and this and this.
That's true.
But it's something about him that I just don't like. Exactly. He's a narcissistic, egotistical asshole. But then you're going to go out again with him because he showed up with the car, the shoes, the house. He told you about all of it. He took you to a fine restaurant. Wasting your time. Move past that food,
and because he's interested in you. I think a lot of times women are taught
he's interested in you because you're sitting there.
Right. But I think a lot of times women are taught if a guy shows interest, they can't turn him down, especially here.
I posted
that
something
all
about that
the time. Christal, he's a good. Girl, you may be single. It's not that many. You got to try. And I'm like, I'm the other half of. I don't really. I'm used to being single, so it doesn't bother me to cut them off. So, but some of my female friends would be like, "Girl, you don't." Almost like we're slaves. Like you can't cut them off. It's not going to. And I'm like, But I think that women, and one of my girlfriends said that, she said, it's almost like we're taught to put up with and never look at our needs. We're looking at their needs. Am I what he wants as opposed to thinking about, is he what I want?
And let me tell you, it starts very young. I have a client, and this woman is amazing. First of all, she's probably 49-ish or whatever, but her daughter is 22, just graduated from Spelman. She is a client and she pays for her daughter too.
Oh, wow.
And when I tell you this little girl, I adore her because she said, of course, you start out with a questionnaire. And one of her answers was, she said, I was dating this guy and I just felt like I was doing it all wrong. She said, I felt like I was doing it all wrong and I just don't know how to date. And, she was putting all this stuff on date, but she ended with saying, and, I just felt like I was being mean to him or whatever. She said, but I just really didn't like him.
Yeah.
So on the phone with her, I said, baby, if you didn't like him, you just didn't like him.
Right.
It's okay.
She said she felt like she wasn't doing what she needed to do as a person dating him. I said, honey, you just don't like him. There's nothing. And that almost made me want to cry because I'm like, she really thinks she has to like him because he likes her.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And she felt she was being mean to him when she wasn't.
Well, that's very sensitive of her. But I can't tell you 10 people I like.
A lot of women, but I'm saying it dates back to even 22.
Right.
Yeah.
Because no one tells us how to have relationships. No one, but hats off to this is a Spelman sister of mine, the mother. Hats off to her because she's seeing in her daughter, oh, no. You're not going to go down the road I went and have to talk to a Stacey at 49 after being married for so long and now
Shouts
divorced.
out to her because that's hard. I think your children repeat what they see you do.
Yeah.
Regardless of if that's right or wrong. And I know for me being a mother, you're just trying to figure it out. So your child is watching and learning and patterning themselves after you falling, getting up. So
and then you really not as mommy. You telling us some things, but you really not telling her everything.
Yeah, but they watch. I know for me, I watched my mom, and that's why I'm the way I am. Because my life literally is following the footsteps of my mom. I grew up with a mother that said, you don't need a man, did not date, cut men off, never dated again after age 35. So for me, after I got divorced, it was very easy to see my life without a man. Very easy. Like It's not hard at all. My grandmother was single. And then I have a girlfriend who, her mom, after she got divorced, she immediately got into another relationship. And she was like, I see myself having to be with you know what I mean? So it just, a lot of times it's what we see our parents do or what the environment we grew up in. And we kind of complete that circle. So, you know, that's awesome that mother is saying, let me get her some help so that she doesn't have to,
awesome.
if she doesn't want to, you know.
You know what's funny is that everybody always, especially financial experts, they're always talking about how in schools they don't teach you how to manage money and money's not important. But man, neither is love taught in school. They don't teach you how to interact with a woman.
I would love to connect to high school and college women. Like that is my heartstring.
Yeah.
When I'm on the phone with this young girl, I'm just like giving her everything.
Yeah.
Everything I got. Everything.
But by the time you get to your 30s,
those habits are hard to break. It's hard to break those habits.
Yeah.
You're used to
You
it.
meet women that are frustrated, and then the more you do it the wrong way, the more you blame yourself, and so you have so much issues with yourself because of what you've done wrong and you just didn't know. Where at 22, you can learn it.
You can learn it. Like she didn't even know. She thought so precious. She was like, she said, so it was a guy that she was friends with, and she said they started dating. So now this is a best friend. Like this is a guy that she said, so I thought I wanted to see him every day. And she was wondering, why don't I want to see him every day? I was like, why are you putting so much on it? Like she was like, I thought I needed to act different.
Yeah.
And they ended up not being friends anymore for a while. Now they're friends again. She said because it just weirded her out. It was just so much pressure. I said, because you were putting it on yourself. You're just supposed to, girl, he's still the same thing.
Your friend, right.
He's still your friend.
Right.
So yeah, I would love to talk to kids in college and high school. Yeah.
We spoke about it earlier, but let's get into the book that you have. I want you guys to tell the people about the book.
Okay.
Here. So we spoke about multiple men in the filter system, but you fine-tuned this thing to 143 reasons why.
Yeah, it used to be 178, but I thought that was a bit aggressive.
So 143 is a lot less.
Yes. Yeah. So the book, it's called Date Girl, 143 Reasons Why I Believe Women Should Date Multiple Men with No Intimacy. The premise is single women give their most precious gift, monogamy, to men who have yet to show themselves deserving. So I believe that a woman, until a man shows himself deserving, whatever deserving is to you, for me, it's dependable, inspiring, complimentary, and enhancing to my life. Then guess what? That is deserving for me, so I will only concentrate on you. Someone was talking about she's got to have it, and they were comparing my book. I was like, No, that is a polyamorous, whatever all them other words she's talking about. Pansexual, sex positive, whatever. Yeah. She is a woman who that's what she does. She's not trying to do anything but that.
Yeah.
These are monogamous women. You see what I'm saying? Who are dating multiple men to decide who is the best candidate for them to be monogamous with, not polyamorous. So I want to, because now people are like, Stacey, your book, and I'm like, no, honey,
we don't want to ride that wave, right? No,
girl.
But no, I think that because I remember when your book first came out, the first edition, I remember thinking like, you know, in this dating landscape, when you say dating, people assume that there's intimacy involved because a lot of times there is.
Yeah.
You know, there are some people that date without intimacy, but the majority of people are dating with intimacy involved. So when you're telling women,
and by intimacy, we're talking about sex.
Sex,
okay.
yeah. So when you're talking about dating 3 men, but not having sex with any of them, you definitely have to make that clear, because that seems like, whoa, you're stretching yourself a little thin.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And I had men that were like, oh my God, you're actually doing an interview. When I did the first interview with Stacey, I mean, I can't believe that you would be, you know, for a woman saying that a woman should date 3 men. Yeah, because they were thinking that she was saying that a woman should be comfortable having sex with 3 different men at the same time.
Yet and still, they're following Amber Rose.
And they're probably having sex with 3 women.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But it's a double standard. Now, let me ask you, be honest. As far as, because we're talking about dating realistically as a man, what would you think if a woman told you, I'm not comfortable being intimate with you until we get to this place? What is
truthfully, I think that when you tell me something like that before how early in the relationship are we talking?
Yeah, I No. Let me say this, Christal. That's what Christal's saying. I'm saying you don't say that to a man like that.
Right.
Yeah. What you do is what I tell my girls. I tell them, I say, you know what? It's good to let a man know that is what you're doing.
Right.
But you frame it around friendship. You know what?
We're just dating right now, whatever.
You know, absolutely. I'd love to meet someone who I can have become my life partner. But right now, I'm having such a great time with you. Let's just get to know each other and become friends.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not, you until you do this.
Right.
This, yeah. I wouldn't say frame it. Yeah, I wouldn't say frame it around that. I would just say.
What does that make you?
I would say that when somebody tells a guy something like that, what they're thinking is, okay, well, she's on pause and I'm going to be doing whatever until she's ready because I can get it. I just got to wait because she said, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like you're signing your own death certificate in our relationship by just bringing that out so early. I don't know.
You're saying if someone says what Christal said.
Right.
What if they say what
Okay.
Stacey said?
Well, no, if you say what you said, Stacey, I think that's mature. And what I'm gaining from that statement is that you are very secure and mature in your dating. So I know that I have to approach it in a different way. I have to either come equal to that or fall off.
Right.
Whereas with what you said, I think it's a game and I'm ready to play that game with you. It's not, you see what I'm saying? It's not the same.
What Christal said about, but yeah, you don't want to give it, unless you do this.
Right,
then
it's
this
a
is
challenge
no,
now,
I
it's a
wouldn't say
game.
that.
And
yeah, guys, the thing about guys, guys want to be friends. Guys truly, now there are some guys out there that will want to do other things with women, and they probably sitting across the table from you and want to do it with you.
Right.
But guys are cool with a girl just saying, man, I'm having such a great time with you right now. Let's be friends. Let's see where it goes. Yeah. It takes all the pressure off, and then if he doesn't call you for a week, you can't have an attitude. You just got to be like, okay. And when he calls you the next time, be just as excited as you were going to be if he called you 3 days later.
How do you defend this idea, this mentality to women who are out there and they're scared to do this because even though they're not having sex, it still feels like a little hoish to have more than one guy, and that word gets thrown at them like you're a hoe because you got all these dudes. But how do you defend that?
Yeah, I can tell you. Let's see, out of 100%, probably 75% of the women feel exactly what you just said. They're really concerned with what a person may think of them if they say this is what they're doing. Right. And I understand that. But what I would say is, you know who you are, and if I am not going to be influenced, not at my age, by what somebody else thinks of me. Right. You see what I'm saying? And I think that more men will respect it if you just say it. It doesn't have to be this, let me sit you down and tell you. You know what I'm saying? What I'm thinking about doing with my life. It's just, right now, I just want to date and have fun. Right. I've been in a lot of relationships in my life. And right now, I just want to get to know you. I want to be your friend. Let's hang out. Right. Let's go bowling. Let's go rolling. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it's in your delivery.
That is different, yeah.
Women tell me that, I go, first of all, you need me as your coach. Okay? Because I can help you. Right. But just relax yourself into it. It doesn't have to be this big thing. Right. Yeah. And you're not the guys that you lose will be the guys that would have wasted your time anyway.
That's good.
So I know you have to go pretty soon, but one question I want to ask, I don't know if Christal has any more, but I recognize this book is great for beginners, but just so that we don't leave out the advanced people who are pretty confident in their dating, is there stuff in the book for them as well?
Absolutely, because I feel like, well, first of all, the book is divided into 5 sections. Okay. The first section is you become more self-discovered, you become more empowered, you stop settling, and then what is the other section? Hold on, guys, I'm sorry. Get more empowered. Wait. Oh, and it takes the pressure off. I can tell you that every woman, I don't care how confident she is in her dating, this book will add value to their life. Because not only does it talk about the reasons why, but I believe, and this is just my opinion, I believe that it gets into not just the topical reason, but it gets into an emotional, the spirituality that comes with that reason. Mm-hmm. And I think that no matter how confident we are in one thing, there could be some value in another chapter. Maybe she is self-discovered. She's not opposed to saying, this is what I want. And, I just want to have fun. Right. You see what I'm saying? But maybe there has been someone in her life, or she's still kind of putting out the fire of she doesn't feel as empowered with making certain choices.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Or maybe she is allowing someone to, I always say, you know how when you're dating someone and they're upset and then you take it into work and then, you know what I'm saying? It's like, ugh. What in the world? You're managing people differently today? Well, this book may help you because one of the sections talks about relating better. Instead of, how do you disconnect from what is happening at home or in your life emotionally in a relationship to let's leave that behind and let's approach work today like we need to approach it instead of taking it out on people who have nothing to do, with anything that would happen at home. Yeah. So I think that no matter how evolved you are, I think that my book will add value to your life.
Excellent.
Totally. For sure.
I don't have any more questions.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
we really appreciate you coming in. I told you that we were not going to disagree. I think Christal
He took it easy. He was not.
Do you feel it was disingenuous?
She can't answer because she's not on the show with you all the time.
Oh, come on.
But that's good, though. That's good.
I just think he agrees with a lot. And let me say this, Christal. A lot of men, after they sit down with me, they agree with me. It's just initially they like,
yeah.
But I agree with you. Before you sat down, I'd watched the videos. I thought that the system is excellent. I hope that women take heed and understand that the pressure can be off them if they let it, but they have to follow those steps. You can't keep doing the same old things and expecting guys to change because we're not going to.
and I think that honestly, none of us have to change who we are at our core. I just think that we have to adjust our perspective.
Right.
And after we adjust and retrain our minds. And I think that retraining, like the 22-year-old, once she heard that, she was like, oh,
yeah,
I don't have to, okay. And you can relax into it. Knowledge is power. Right. And a lot of times in life, we concentrate so much as women on being bosses, in our business lives to where we don't feel the value. We'll pay $250 to go to a conference for 3 hours, but we won't pay someone coaching. You see what I'm saying? To really get our love life together because that's something that we're just supposed to know how to do.
Right.
No, the divorce ratio wouldn't be 60% if we knew how to do it so well.
Man. Yeah, definitely. That's like, I think that a lot of times too, we see things on, obviously we're very social media driven. And when people look like a good couple, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are a great couple. And I think people are focused on the whole relationship goals and the look of things more so than they are the real connection. I think that's, especially with young people, it's like, I want to be like Cardi B and Offset now. Before it was Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Wow.
It's like,
if that's what you're aspiring to, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got a book I need you to read. It's 143 Reasons.
It's so interesting you said that too, and then I'll leave after this. There's a story about, imagine one married couple. Okay. The couple's been married 25 years, right? But they've been thinking about divorce probably for the last 10, but they never divorced, okay? One of just say the man dies or whatever in the obituary. Oh my God, they were the most loving couple ever. I know she is definitely going to miss him. Her heart, you see what I'm saying? Now, this is if he dies before their divorce.
Right.
If he doesn't die and they divorce, man, that's a shame. They was married 25 years and so and so. It's still the same bad couple.
Right.
It's still two people who didn't,
That's
but
true.
because they stayed married and then he died, oh gosh, they were such a great couple.
Yeah.
You see, the perspective changes.
It is. And a lot of people think that long marriages, I have an example
They
like
think
that.
they put in the time. It's just supposed
Yeah.
to be.
It's not.
So great.
It's not. In fact, most of the relationships I see are not positive. So it's like, I'm being honest.
I don't like that. I don't know that that's true. I think that.
I mean, you can't say it's not true for me.
You're right.
I mean, I'm saying most of the relationships that I see, I wouldn't want to be in that relationship. There are probably two couples I know, and you're one of them, that I really think that they're genuine and I love the relationship. I don't see a lot of that. I see a lot of people that are, maybe three now, because a girlfriend of mine just got married and they're
That's too new.
awesome.
That could be over in a couple of weeks.
But they've known each other for a long time, though. They've been friends for a long time.
Marriage changes.
They've been friends for a long time. But no, it's not. I don't think a lot of people get it right. I think there are a lot of people not getting it right. And that's, I mean, obviously with the divorce rate, what it is, and some of the couples that people look up to, when you get behind the scenes, it's like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want that. But I think especially for women, there's an expectation. Like, sometimes women just want to be in a relationship. Like, why? I just want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
I just don't think people know what the hell they want. That's why
That's
people
probably
like
true.
Stacey are so important. Like, you have
Thank
to
you, be honest.
You know, me and my wife, we went to couples therapy before.
Wow, that's so good.
We didn't know you. Maybe it would have been had we
That's
known
so
you, it would have been
good.
you at the time. But you know, it's so important to unpack all the reasons why you're doing things, and you may not even know that you're doing them or why you're doing them. You need somebody to mediate that, and you know, it's part of it. It's part of the. Don't get married if you've never talked to anybody.
I agree with
Even
that.
if you have a great relationship and you don't talk to anybody, how do you know that you're going to be able to? This isn't going to something that's going to come rear its head in 5 years or 10 years. You don't even know. So, there's the value in what you do is.
A lot of times people think that they're supposed to meet, date, get engaged, and then get married. I say meet, date, see a coach, and then get engaged. Because you want to, before you make that decision to do the whole engagement thing, you want to see really, because with a coach, or they get into the language that you guys possibly didn't consider.
Right.
And if you're being real with each other and you're sitting down with somebody, it's like, oh, okay, wow, you get an opportunity to reconsider.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Some things, and then you can walk away without now joining your lives.
Right.
And now all of these things are encumbered, and you're like, first year in,
Right.
I hate
Oh,
this
God.
MF. Or
Right.
I hate, you see what I'm saying?
How many times do you sit down with a couple, or do you do couples therapy as well?
Yeah, but I like to do couples therapy before the engagement.
How often do you sit down with a couple and realize that one of the people in the relationship hardly ever talked prior to sitting down on your couch?
Several.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Several.
It's got to. That's got to.
Yeah, like when I tell
can't do
you
that.
out of 10, probably 6.
Wow. There it is.
And then they still might get married because the woman is not being truthful. Yeah.
Well, Stacey, tell people
All right.
how if they want to get in touch with you, if they're interested in getting to your getting counseling or being a part of. I know you do village counseling too.
Yeah, I
with a
do
group of
village
girls.
counseling. Yeah, village counseling is really cool for girlfriends who are really close girlfriends who don't mind being on the phone and sharing all of their private life.
Right.
And it's way less expensive than one-on-one coaching with me. So you can contact me at Stacii Jae. I'm sorry, that's my Instagram at Stacii Jae. My email, if you want to find out more information on coaching, it's Stacii Jae at StaceyJJohnson.com. Or I do these things called Single Girls Night In. If you're in Atlanta, oh my God, they're so much fun. It's you and 24 of your other girlfriends. You pre-purchase the books, and then I come in and I spend an hour and a half and we talk about the book. And you can give me all your dating, love, and relationship questions. So it's hosted at your home and with your friends in the privacy of your own home. So girls really like that. That's if you're in Atlanta. If you're out of Atlanta, it's something more encumbered just because I have to travel and stuff.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Makes
We're
sense.
going to try to do one with Stacey after the top of the year. So
Yay!
people,
But you're going to do it with a different twist. I've never done it like
I
yours
think
is
it's
going to
gonna
be
fun.
really
yeah, but
good.
I think there's like power with women connecting.
Yeah.
That's just something I'm really passionate about. And sometimes without your group of girlfriends tend to think like you. And so sometimes there's power in getting a group of women that you can relate to, but aren't necessarily your immediate circle, because then you get fresh perspective. And sometimes you have to get out of that, because I know anyone that is around you on a consistent basis, you guys have like minds or something in common. So you could tend to be making the same mistakes, or listening to them may not be giving you the perspective that you need. So I'm excited about this. We'll definitely keep our listeners prepped for that, especially our listeners that are here in Atlanta that may want to participate in that. We'll keep you guys updated on the website, and we'll have Stacey's information on the website as well.
Yep.
For you to go to if you want to go to her website, buy her book, support Black businesses, and buy her book. Just support businesses, small businesses, period.
You can say black.
Yeah, but I
can
mean,
say
I just
Black.
think you should support businesses. And me.
Well, we've been supporting businesses for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's support some black businesses.
That's right.
This is your investment into the black culture.
What if it's not a Black person? We still want them to buy her book.
Stacey's definitely black. Can we buy a black book today?
Buy a
Thank
black
you, Stacey.
book. Buy a black book.
All right.
Cool. Well, we appreciate Stacey coming by, and we're going to definitely have to have her back after the new year. Maybe when we get ready to do this event, we'll have her come back and talk
Oh, yeah,
about
that'd be
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Cool beans.
Bye.
That was cool. Having Stacey here was cool.
Yeah. I knew you thought that I was going to be this misogynist guy, but I really was in line with a lot of things she was saying. So,
well, that's cool.
Sometimes you got to just, you know what I'm saying? You got to just let it happen.
Yeah. Well, I actually know women that she's helping. So, you know, I'm all in line for that. And
I'm totally support couples counseling, therapy. I mean, not necessarily medicine-based therapy, but
right. Well, that's not therapy. That's like a psychiatrist as opposed to a therapist.
But people get that stigma in their brain. They're like, I'm not crazy. I don't need to see anybody. But man, I don't think you realize the stuff you're holding on to until you go sit down in front of somebody and you have to be accountable.
Right.
For the.
Well, that's what we were just saying. I mean, Jay-Z said that therapy was like one of the biggest things for him that helped him so much. So.
I applaud people who have the courage to. I don't even know if it's courage, but I applaud people who have the ability to know and recognize the value in that. And I know that it saved my relationship.
Wow.
And
it can save yours.
Yeah.
So we definitely will have, obviously we have Stacey's information on the website. We got to tell you guys about something that we're doing, even though Be Honest is not all the way in the Christmas spirit. We've managed to kind of come together as a group and get
They forced me. They forced me
we
to.
got a little bit in the Christmas spirit. So we're going to send a special holiday gift pack, Music Love Lifestyle, to one or two of our subscribers. We're not sure how many packs we're going to get yet, right?
Right. Well, 2 at the max. So depending on how many people sign up.
Yeah. So we all you have to do to be a part of this is to subscribe so that you have Music Love Life on your phone or on your desktop, and you subscribe as one of our listeners. And we're going to, once you go to the site to subscribe, we'll get your information and we're going to pick and send you a holiday gift pack. Again, it's Music Love Lifestyle. So,
I promise there will be none of my mother's blood in it to sadden your Christmas spirit.
Yeah. What I will not promise is that there may not be Popeye's chicken, because that is definitely something that
a gift card or something, maybe something. I don't know.
I think that's the most consistent thing besides our sponsor, Caribbean Blue Water, is Popeye's chicken. That's what Music Love Life supports. Popeye's chicken.
They better never sponsor us, because if they do, I'm gonna be about 200 pounds heavier.
Thanks for tuning in. It's been Christal and Be Honest. We'll look forward to having Kevin back next week.
Right.
We'll see you guys then.